Several years ago, when I was a researcher studying cancer cells and a doctor treating cancer patients, I had an experience that changed my life. That experience convinced me that people need more resources to help them understand inherited cancers and to help them assemble a plan of action when the cancer appears to run in the family. This book is a result of the experience I'm about to describe, and it is here for you to use. It was March 2004, and I was sitting with my husband, Sean, at the round table in my sixth-floor office at the University of Michigan's Cancer Center. I had a nicely sized office, with a desk decorated with a couple of computers and photos of lab members and special patients, as well as pictures of our family mugging for posterity. There were shelves that held trinkets from patients, along with yards of books about cancer biology and cancer care. When the phone on the table rang, Sean and I jumped. We knew that the incoming call would tell us the results of my own genetic test, that we would learn whether I was at risk for inherited cancer. I put the call on speakerphone so that both of us could hear the news. Neither one of us could sit still, so, without saying anything, we both stood up, walked to the window, and looked out at the snow. I thought about what had brought me to that moment. Sean and I had been at the beach the previous summer when he had pointed to a small spot on my leg. It had been there for a while, but Sean observed that it had changed in its appearance. After I got home, I decided to show it to a dermatologist, who said that he didn't know what it was, but that he would remove it. Not because he suspected cancer, but because that's what dermatologists do when there's something on your skin they don't recognize. A week later, I had a diagnosis. Melanoma. Melanoma. Me. I've got the complexion of an Italian, Russian, Jewish mutt. My hair and eyes are dark brown, and my skin tans deeply and easily. People with complexions like mine aren't supposed to get melanoma. Even the dermatologist was surprised. Without classic risk factors like pale skin and a history of sunburn, melanoma was very unlikely. Unless an unseen genetic mutation had increased my risk. The melanoma was, fortunately, in an early stage and curable by surgery. But Sean urged me to consult with genetics experts. I booked an appointment at a genetics clinic, telling myself I was just humoring Sean. Deep down, though, I knew that I should have had genetic testing years earlier. When I was in elementary school, I was stunned when my Uncle Jack died of what my immediate family believed to be adrenal cancer. As I grew up, cancer made further appearances in my family, and I eventually realized that I wanted to become either a scientist who studied medical mysteries or a doctor who treated patients. Eventually, I went all the way and did both. I enrolled in the Medical Scientist MD PhD training program at Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis, which teaches students how to treat disease as well as how to research its causes and cures. By the time I graduated, I needed both hands to count the family members who'd developed cancer. Not just Uncle Jack, but also my mother, father, aunt, sister, and one of my brothers had come down with cancer of different kinds. When my beloved older sister Bea died of breast cancer at age 38, while I was still in medical training, I doubled down on my resolve. In the years after Bea's death, I couldn't shake loose a series of questions. Was Bea's cancer sporadic, the kind of cancer that develops as a result of gene mutations or changes that arise by chance as we age? The vast majority of cancer cases, about 90% of them, are in fact sporadic. Or was it hereditary, meaning that one of our parents had passed down to Bea a genetic mutation that predisposed her to cancer? Because she was so young, the chances that it was hereditary were increased. If Bea's cancer was hereditary, I could have inherited the same mutation. The same went for my brothers and for Bea's children, and our cousins and their children. Cancer had already touched so many of us. Was my entire family at risk? At the time Bea died, in the early 1990s, it was known that cancer syndromes could be passed down through families, but the technology for testing DNA to spot a mutation didn't exist. I spent a lot of time debating with myself.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.